Welcome to Elite 5 News. Hi, I'm Zoe.
Hi, I'm Carson. Today we have a variety of interesting topics to share with you.
First up, we have Nolan talking about cloning.
Thanks, Carson and Zoe. Hello, everyone. I'm Nolan, and I'll be talking about the first mammal to be cloned using adult cells. The first clone was created in a laboratory on July 5th, 1996. Ian Wilmot and his associates used udder cells from a female sheep to create a lamb named Dolly. Why is this important, you may ask? It is important because scientists may use cloning to clone people and pets in the future. In 1997, the same scientists created Polly, a lamb clone from skin cells grown in a laboratory and altered to contain a human gene in it. What are your thoughts on cloning? Back to you in the studio.
Wow, that's so interesting. I didn't know that the first cloned mammal was a sheep.
Yeah, me too. I can't believe it was in 1996. Love the name Dolly.
Next up, we have Hazel talking about Burmese pythons in Florida.
Thanks, Carson. Have you heard of the problem of Burmese pythons invading Florida? Many people have, but most don't know how they got there or why they are a problem. Burmese pythons most likely first came to Florida in the 1980s to be sold as pets. However, they are difficult to care for and grow to be very large. This caused many owners to release the snakes in the wild when they got too big for them to care for, and some may have escaped. This led to hundreds of pythons on the loose, eventually finding their ways to Florida's Everglades. Why are the Burmese pythons a problem? Well, the Everglades are home to many species that are prey to the snakes, some of which are endangered species, and no predators to prey on these pythons. Because of this, the snakes are rapidly growing in numbers and decreasing the population of many native species to the Florida Everglades. Also, the Burmese pythons are not originally from Florida, meaning they are an invasive species or an animal introduced to a place where they are not native and are threatening the ecosystem. Along with this, some experts worry that Burmese and African pythons will breed to make hybrid snakes that may be dangerous. Because of Florida's work to remove the Burmese pythons, their numbers have gone down. Since 2002, nearly 2,000 pythons have been taken from the Everglades, and soon, hopefully, Florida will no longer be invaded by these snakes. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, that's scary that these pythons are wild in Florida.
Wow, sounds painful if you get bitten. I'll be on my lookout on my next trip to Florida. Now up is Cullen with an interesting story on deforestation. Take it away, Cullen.
Thanks, Carson and Zoe. Hi, I'm Cullen. Have you heard that tree companies are cutting down trees and not replanting them? If you haven't, well, this is a major concern for the environment. Trees produce oxygen and absorb greenhouse gases. Too much greenhouse gases causes global warming, and that makes it warmer or colder depending on what the season is. How can we stop deforestation? Here's some ways you can help in your community to deal with this tree problem. First, you can plant trees in your backyard or at parks or areas around your house if you have permission. Second, you can ask your neighbors, parents, friends, family, or teachers to donate to donations that are replanting trees around the world. Here's some donation groups, for example. Team Trees and US Day Service Plant a Tree program. Lastly, you can ask your classmates to ask everybody they know, from friends to teachers and parents, to plant trees anywhere you can. Back to you, Carson and Zoe.
That's so sad that people are cutting down trees and not thinking about replanting trees in their places.
We just got a lot of trees cut down in my yard. My parents are planting trees somewhere else in our yard.
I think you should. Next up is Julia with a report on Siberian tigers.
Thanks, Zoe. Hi, my name is Julia. Today I'm going to be talking about how Siberian tigers became endangered. Unfortunately, the biggest cat in the world over time has become endangered. The Siberian tiger, also known as a mere tiger, has gorgeous thick fur, beautiful black eyes, and incredible night vision. Their coats are lighter orange with fewer stripes. The Siberian tiger is the only tiger who can live in the snow and weigh up to 700 pounds. A male tiger is usually around 11 feet with their tail measuring 39 inches. Females are significantly smaller, measuring 7.9 feet with their tail measuring 36 inches. The Siberian tiger can live up to 25 years in captivity and can run up to 60 miles per hour. Siberian tigers are endangered because of hunting, habitat loss, and deforestation. There are only around 400 left in the wild. People hunt these beautiful animals for their fur and body parts to make natural medicines. In 1966, the Siberian tiger was put on the endangered species list. One way we can save the Siberian tigers is by protecting their habitat and making sure to protect them in captivity. Back to you in the studio.
That's so sad these tigers are being poached.
I also didn't know they're called armored tigers and they weigh up to 700 pounds.
Now to you, Zoe, some facts about the sinking of the Titanic.
Thanks, Carson. Hi, my name is Zoe, and I'm going to tell you all about the sinking of the Titanic. Did you know the ship was first referred to as an unsinkable ship? Imagine a boom, then a crash, and feel yourself slowly falling down onto the floor of the ship. That is what the people on the Titanic felt when the ship hit the iceberg. It started at 11:30 p.m. on April 14th, 1912. Captain Edward John Smith was warned earlier that day about ice, but the captain just kept the ship moving at 25 miles per hour, confident that the weather was clear. There was 2 lookouts on deck trying to stay warm, which are people who are watching the ocean when the captain is not available. Then there was a big iceberg that was towering over them, and the worst night in boat history began. The first problem was that there was the a leak in the number 6 boiler room and engine room. To make it even worse, there was a sound like thunder, which turned out to be a big crack in the side of the Titanic that was leaking due to hitting the large iceberg. The passengers had limited time to escape the ship before the ship sank. If they did not escape in time, unfortunately, they would die. Less than 2 hours later, more than 1,532 passengers died, and less than 705 passengers survived the sinking of the Titanic. What I discovered to be most disturbing fact about the sinking of the Titanic is that there were not enough lifeboats to accommodate all the 2,200 passengers and crew members. There are only 1,200. Even more disturbing is that many of the lifeboats were not completely full and had room for more survivors. The Titanic marked a tragic point in history, but changed the ship industry dramatically for the better. I personally think the cruise ships are very safe today, and I am looking forward to potentially going on one soon. Back to you, Carson.
Wow, that's very scary how they thought the ship was unsinkable and ended up sinking. I didn't know that it was really just an iceberg that made the ship sink.
Yeah, and I think it was almost exactly 111 years ago. I'm most troubled by the lack of lifeboats. Now we have Kinsey with the story on manatees.
Thanks, Zoe. Hi, I'm Kinsey, and I'm here to talk to you about an award-winning nonprofit organization that helps manatees all over the world. Have you ever heard of the Save the Manatees Club? The Save the Manatees Club is a club located in Maitland, Florida that focuses on protecting the manatees and their aquatic environments from the endangered species list. In 1981, Jimmy Buffett and Bob Graham founded the Save the Manatees Club. Bob Graham was a former Florida governor and U.S. Senator. Jimmy Buffett is a singer and songwriter too. Bob and Jimmy started the Save the Manatees Club to help the recovery and protection of the manatees and their aquatic ecosystems throughout the world. To join the Save the Manatees Club, you can log on to their website and email them or call them at 1-800-432-JOIN to become a member of the Save the Manatees Club. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, it's so interesting. I didn't know that Jimmy Buffett was the creator of the Save the Manatees Club.
Manatees are closer to elephants and other sea creatures.
No way, that's so cool. Our second to last story is Olivia talking about Londonderry's ECE cheer team.
Thanks, Carson. Hi, I'm Olivia. Do you have any interest in cheerleading, or are you looking for a gym to help enhance your tumbling skills? Well, I'm here today to talk to you about a cheer gym right here in Londonderry called East Celebrity Elite, located in North Londonderry near Exit 5. This gym is owned by Chelsea Dennis, a former LHS cheer coach and University of New Hampshire Wildcat cheerleader. East Celebrity Elite offers tumble classes for beginners and for advanced tumblers. You can purchase group or private lessons. Classes run from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. weekdays and open gym at various times throughout the week. If you are interested in competitive cheerleading, try out for ECE team. That's either a travel or local team. Teams can range from full year to half year teams. I personally attend tumbling classes at ECE, and I feel like it's really helped improve my skills, and I feel more confident in my cheer routines. So if you're interested in cheerleading, check out their website and sign up for a tumbling class. Back to you, Zoe.
Wow, I didn't know Olivia was a cheerleader. I bet she's great at tumbling.
Before this, I'd never even heard of ECE.
Our last story is Carson with the story on cars in the 1960s.
Thanks, Zoe. Hi, I'm Carson, and I'm here to talk to you about the battle between muscle cars. Have you ever heard the car phrase, ponies can run but birds can fly? Well, I have. It's referring to the battle between muscle cars, horsepower back in the 1960s. General Motors started to design the Pontiac Firebird in the mid-1960s. So on February 23rd, 1967, they came out with the Pontiac Firebird. It was fast and had 165 horsepower. This model fought well, but didn't compare to the Ford Mustang. In 1970, General Motors made a new model to compete against Ford. This one had 330 horsepower. General Motors sold 18,874 of them, but still didn't come close to the Mustang sold. Ford sold 191,239 Mustangs. Not even close. But General Motors were desperate to decide for a new idea at this point, so they were running out of money and fast. With their desperateness to sell Pontiac, they tried a new model in 1981. This one was the worst one yet. It had a smaller engine than ever, but they managed to sell 70,889 of them. But what do you know? Of course, Ford doubled that plus 40 with their 182,552 sales of the Mustang. In one last attempt, General Motors tried a new idea in 1993. The Pontiac had 200 to 285 horsepower and excelled up to 160 miles per hour. The best feature on it is that it had eyelets for headlights. This model ran until 2002 when Pontiac's production shut down completely. Pontiacs are rare antique models and very expensive. I would personally he'd prefer a Pontiac over a Mustang. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, it's sad that the Pontiac production was shut down.
I know, but it's so cool how they are rare now. I would definitely buy a Pontiac.
Well, folks, this has been a great show.
Yes, it has.
Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Maddie.
Hi, my name is Kenny.
Hello, this is TWAN,
The
World's
Amazing
News. Today we have a lot of fun topics to discuss with you.
Yes, who's going to go first today, Maddie?
Great question. It's Abira talking about how we can save the jaguars.
Thanks, Maddie. Hi, I'm Abira. Today I'm going to tell you about jaguars and how these magnificent creatures have become endangered. Jaguars are the third largest cat after lions and tigers. These amazing animals have beautiful golden fur with black spots called rosettes. They are 5 to 8 feet long from nose to tail. The average jaguar weighs up to 140 to 300 pounds. They can run up to 50 miles per hour, which is as fast as you normally drive your car. And now, on to the story of how the jaguar actually became endangered. The illegal wildlife trade in jaguar pelts and parts played a substantial role in their population decline over time. In the 1960s, about 15,000 jaguar pelts were sold annually in the Brazilian Amazon to supply international markets in North America and Europe. On July 22, 1997, the jaguar was registered in the endangered animals list. There are about 173,000 jaguars left in the wild, according to the World Wildlife Fund. Habitat loss represents the main threat to jaguars. It is a species that has already lost 40% of its original range in these vast wild areas to support population viability. Deforestation represents a major role in habitat loss and a reduction in the availability of natural prey to jaguars. It is devastating for these incredible creatures. Well, here's what we can do to prevent these jaguars from going extinct. We can engage in participatory community conservation in the margins of protected areas, using a watershed level database to inform regional and local conservation initiatives, assisting local communities in sustainably managing the hunting game of species that are also jaguar prey. These are all the things we can do to help the jaguars. The reason why we should help protect the jaguar from going extinct is because they play a major role in maintaining the structure of the function of the ecosystems they inhabit. As top predators, they help to keep the balance in the food chain where they live, playing an important role in controlling the population of other species and promoting healthy ecosystems. Well, that's all I had to say about endangered jaguars and how we can help them from going extinct. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, Maddie, I didn't know that jaguars can run up to 50 miles per hour. Did you?
Yes, I read a book about them in 4th grade. Okay, Kenny, who's next?
It is Noah with the topics of the NFL draft.
Woo-woo. Thanks, Kenny. Hi, I'm Noah here, and I'll be talking about who the New England Patriots drafted to join to their 2023 to 2024 season team. The draft was drawn on April 27th through 29th. For those of you who don't know, the draft happens for one reason, and that reason is for the NFL teams to pick incoming new players who have been out of high school for 3 years and must have used up their college eligibility to be drafted to play for their team. This year's draft was drawn at the World War I Memorial in Kansas City, Missouri. More than 300,000 people attend the NFL draft every year. Celebrities go to the draft too, and even sometimes the president. Here are the top 3 draft picks for the Patriots this year. First is Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. Second is Keon White from Georgia Tech. And third is Marte Mapu from Sacramento State. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to tune in to watch these new players show what they're made of. Go Pats! Back to you in the studio.
Wow, that's exciting for all those new players in the Pats.
Yeah, they get to week with the legend, Bill Belichick. Well, Maddie, who is next?
It's great question, Kenny. It's Julia with the Willow Project. Julia, it's your time to shine.
Thanks, Maddie. Hi, I'm Julia. Have you ever heard of the Willow Project? Well, it's an oil drilling project in Alaska for energy. The U.S. government wants to drill oil in Alaska and to cut off its ties with using oil from foreign countries. The project was approved by the Biden administration on March 17, 2023. The energy company ConocoPhillips out of Houston, Texas has been exploring drilling for years. The drilling was first proposed and approved back in 2020 by the Trump administration. The company wants to start drilling as soon as possible, but it became a controversial topic that brought out many protesters. The project is currently at a standstill as the company is awaiting legal issues which have occurred and are waiting to hear the verdict from the courts. Alaskan natives are upset at the idea of drilling on their lands and fear what could happen to their drinking water, as well as the environmental hazards that would contribute to the drilling. Although the Willow project will create jobs, boost domestic energy production, and allow the country to not rely on foreign oil, is the harm of the drilling really worth it? I think we should consider finding other alternatives to the drilling, like maybe more environmentally friendly energy sources. Back to you in the studio.
I think that is messed up how they drilling on native land, and it could impact the water.
I agree with you. We need to think of a better drilling spot, or maybe a cleaner energy source. Kenny, who's next on the list?
Michael, with National Dog Day.
Thanks, Kenny. Today I will be talking about National Dog Day. It's coming up soon on August 26th. National Dog Day started in 2004 by Colleen Page, a veterinarian that loves her dogs. She thought of this after 9/11 because service dogs were not getting enough attention for the rescue efforts on that tragic day. So she started National Dog Day to recognize service dogs that help people. Now here's some things that you can do with your dog to celebrate National Dog Day. First, you can play Frisbee with them. You can play catch with them. Ah, yes, the classics. You can take them to a dog park near you. You can play tug-of-war, and to really love your dog, you can cuddle up with them. And if you don't have a dog, you can still partake in National Dog Day by drawing a dog and helping dogs in need. And if your neighbor has a dog, you can ask to play with their dog. National Dog Day takes place on the same day all over the world. And it's coming up in about 1 year on March 24th, which is International Puppy Day, where puppies are being celebrated all over the world just like dogs on National Dog Day. I can't wait to celebrate National Dog Day this year. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, that's amazing, Michael. I'm going to do something for my dog on National Dog Day.
I don't have a dog, but I might do something special for Noah's dog, Judah.
No.
Yeah, Judah's my bestie. Who's next, Payson?
Oh, it's Sophia with capybaras.
Thank you, Maddie. Hi, I am Sophia. Do you know what animal is the largest known rodent in the world? Surprisingly, these cute creatures, who are distant relatives to the guinea pig, are known as the capybaras. Here are a few facts about them. They can be found in Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Peru, Brazil, Paraguay, Northeast Argentina, and Uruguay. Capybaras are unique creatures. They let other animals treat them like furniture. For example, they let other animals sit on them. Capybaras are fantastic swimmers. They can also dive and stay underwater for up to 5 minutes at a time. They are extremely agile on land, and their teeth also grow continuously. Capybaras are herbivores, and an adult capybara can eat 6 to 8 pounds of fresh grass a day. Their lifespan is about 8 to 10 years. I hope you enjoyed learning about the largest rodent in the world, the capybara. Back to you in the studio.
Capybaras have such cool facts. Makes you want to listen to the Capybara song. Capybara.
I can't believe that they're the largest rodent in the world. Okay, Kenny, it's time to get serious. Do you know who's next?
Yes, I do, and it's going to be you with the Londonderry Marching Band.
Thanks, Kenny. Hi, my name is Maddie. Today I will be talking about the Londonderry Marching Band. The LHS Marching Band is one of the most well-known marching bands in the USA. It is one of the better-known marching bands because they have participated in so many parades. 3 of their biggest trips were to China, New York City, and Washington, D.C. In 2007, the LHS Marching Band went on their biggest trip they have ever gone on, to Beijing, China, on the Olympic International Festival Committee. It was taking place here. It cost $4,000 per student. Students were fundraising money. When they were in Beijing, they marched in the Grand Parade and performed on the Great Wall of China, and did 2 more performances in the Olympic Square. A picture of the band on the Great Wall of China is hanging in the district office. Another big event that the Londonderry Marching Band participates in is the St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York City. The Londonderry High School has been in the St. Patrick's Day Parade for 25 years. They have done it for a fraction of the time since the parade's beginnings in 1762. Also, the parade in New York City is also one of the biggest parades in the world. One of the big trips that the Londonderry School did was to Washington, D.C., to march in front of President Obama, the inauguration in 2012. Then got invited back in 2023. How cool is that? For the band's trip, the town celebrated their accomplishments with the fire department hung a big American flag. All the Londonderry was there to cheer them on. The police even escorted them to the highway. If you have not heard, Londonderry is going to march at London next year on January 1st, 2024. It is going to be a good trip to add to their resume. Back to you in the studio.
That's one of the coolest things ever. I want to go to China. I think that I want to be in the LHS marching band.
Thank you, Kenny.
What instrument do you play, Maddie?
Flute. Kenny, what instrument do you play?
Trombone.
I love that instrument, just like I love my flute.
Who's next?
It's you, Kenny.
Thanks, Maddie, for the best introduction to Fortnite. Have you ever played the online video game Fortnite? If so, you might wonder how this game started. Well, today I'll tell you all about the beginning of Fortnite into the present. The game was designed in 1991 by a company named Epic Games. First started out with Microsoft making a game series called Gears of War. The series has 5 games. Then they announced a new standalone game, Fortnite. It started out as a survival game in 2011. Epic Games held many betas which were preview screens by content creators to measure the success of the game. People were excited about the new survival game, so it produced 500,000 pre-orders before its release date. Surprisingly, when it released on July 21st, 2017, it flopped. Because the game hype was not as good as gamers believed it to be. In September 2017, the Battle Royale was released. Fortnite made a huge step in gaming by creating a free-to-play mode named Fortnite Battle Royale, inspired by the game PUBG. It was very popular. It got 100,000 players in 1 week. Then they update the game weekly and they release a new mode called 50v50, and the game gets more popular every second. Now to the present. The game Fortnite is still popular to this day, but not as big as it used to be. It is known for its creative game mode that is constantly changing. Players log in frequently to see new updates with the releases of Create 2.0. Epic Games is pushing its competitors out of the water. Honestly, I think Fortnite is a fun game. Back to you, Maddie.
That's pretty cool how Fortnite was created.
Thank you.
Kenny, who's next?
Good question. Is Jameson with the Chinese balloon?
Thanks, Kenny. Hi, I'm Jameson. Did you hear that there was a mysterious large air balloon that was flying over the United States back in January to February? The U.S. government believed it to be a Chinese spy balloon. A large white balloon was first spotted on January 28, 2023, over Alaska. This was the fifth time since 2017 where China had sent a balloon over the U.S. On February 4th, 2023, the U.S. military shot down the balloon with an F-22 missile off the coast of South Carolina. The Chinese balloon was shot down for the security and protection of the United States. The military retrieved the balloon and debris to observe and discover its contents. We have yet to learn what the military discovered. Hopefully we will find out the discovery soon. Back to you in the studio.
That's so cool and scary at the same time. I hope it wasn't a spy balloon.
Yeah, hopefully it was just a weather balloon.
Now it's Layla on the history of basketball.
Thanks, Maddie. Hi, I'm Layla, and today I'll be talking to you about the history of basketball. Did you know that basketball was invented in Springfield College at Springfield, Massachusetts? In 1892, James Naismith invented a game called basketball as a PE teacher. He wanted a game for his college students to play indoors during the cold winters of Massachusetts. He nailed a peach basket into the wall of the gym, and players tried to shoot the ball into the basket. The first game was played in 1892 with the soccer ball, and they called it basketball. The game basketball grew popularity in 1920s as it was played by many schools and people started playing professionally. In 1946, the National Basketball Association, NBA, was established, which took the game of basketball to the next level, creating new rules, organizing teams, and expanding the love of basketball. Today, there are 30 teams in the NBA. My favorite team is the Boston Celtics. And there's also a women's professional league known as the WNBA. I personally love the game of basketball and enjoy playing in the Londonderry Rec League. I dream of playing in the WNBA when I'm older. Hope you enjoyed learning about the history of basketball today. Back to you in the studio.
Great report, Layla. I didn't know basketball was invented in Springfield, Massachusetts.
I'm a baller, but only when I play on my hoop at home.
I bet you are. Well, that's all we have for today.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye!
Hello and welcome to Londonderry News.
We are here live with some of the most promising journalists from our own backyard in New Hampshire.
Most people know what bubblegum is, but do you know the history behind it?
Let's kick it to Blake with a story about the history of bubblegum.
Thank you, Megan. Hi, I'm Blake, and this week I'll be talking about the history of chewing gum. Well, the concept of chewing gum was invented thousands of years ago. People would chew in a thick, sticky substance called resin. Resin came from spruce trees. This stuff made chewing gum, well, chewing gum. Even the Greeks were chewing on gum back in 15 AD. In 1848, chewing gum was sold all over the world. It was a huge hit. Then in 1869, an inventor named Thomas Adams wanted to make a resin more durable than normal was and that couldn't withstand the pressure of the human mouth. So Adams started to do the method of trial and error. Till Adams found that sapodilla trees made more durable resin than most other trees like spruce. So to this day, the main ingredient of chewing gum is sapodilla resin. Following Adams' invention of chewing gum came the inspiration of other gum companies to experiment with new flavors and concepts, such as bubble gum and blow pops. Such companies created gums called Tutti Frutti, Wiggle Spearmint, Juicy Fruit, and Double Bubble. But did you know the very first chewing gum was called Blibber or Blubber, but was not released to the public? So next time you're chewing on your favorite piece of gum, think back how it was created back in the studio.
What a fascinating story. That sure makes me want some bubble gum.
Me too. What's your favorite flavor of gum? Mine's sweet watermelon.
Same. Next we have Renee with ocean pollution.
Thanks, Megan. Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm here today to talk with you about helping save the ocean ecosystem. Ocean pollution is a real problem nowadays. It's destroying the coral reefs, polluting chemicals and sewage into the water, and killing many marine wildlife. Our ocean is being destroyed by our trash. Let's say you go to the beach excited to swim and you see a sign saying, water polluted, no swimming. All I know is I'd be pretty upset, not just for me, but for the animals in the ocean too. Sea life is a big part of our world. 70% of our world is ocean. What would happen if it all gets destroyed? We have a trash island the size of Texas off in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's not just trash that's being left behind on beaches that we need to worry about. Trash on the mainland can find its way to the ocean by wind. We need to stop using plastic altogether and focus on more biodegradable materials. That way it won't harm our sea life or world. Therefore, we as humans need to do something to help save the ocean and its wildlife before it's too late. Please do your part, clean up your trash, and help save our planet. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, I didn't know that there's an island the size of Texas that's made of plastic.
Speaking of how animals are endangered because of human behavior, here's Bryant with snow leopards and how they are endangered.
Thanks, Renee. Hi, I'm Bryant. Today I'm going to tell you about snow leopards. Did you know that snow leopards are on the endangered species list? Well, sadly, they are. Snow leopards were once common animals that lived in many countries all over the world. However, there are now only about 5,000 of them left in the world, which is not many. Snow leopards have gray and white fur that keeps them warm. Their upper body has light gray fur with black dots, and their lower body has white fur. These colors are great camouflage on snowy mountains, allowing the snow leopards to help them hunt other animals too. Although these creatures are a predator to most, are still endangered. The snow leopard's population is very low for many reasons. One reason being that people have changed the land that snow leopards lived on through the building of farmlands, roads, cities, and other infrastructures. Also, some people hunt snow leopards. Some do it to keep livestock safe, others do it to sell the snow leopard's fur. Many people are trying to save these beautiful creatures. They want people to stop hunting snow leopards. They want to teach people to live with snow leopards. That can maybe save these amazing animals. Thanks for tuning in. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, I didn't know that humans hunt snow leopards for their fur.
Speaking of animals that are having trouble, here's Megan with albino animals and their struggles in the wild.
Thanks, Renee. Hi, I'm Megan. Do you know that there are albino animals too? These animals have a genetic disorder that makes them completely white. Some animals are only partially albino, so they aren't completely white. This is more common in animals like snakes. While albino animals are cute, they face many struggles in the wild. Their white color makes it almost impossible to camouflage in the wild, so predators can easily spot them. Albino animals that are classified as predators can also have problems. For example, if an alligator is sneaking up on a small frog for a snack, a camouflaged alligator can easily sneak up on it and eat it, but for an albino one, it could easily be spotted creeping up on the prey, and the prey could run away. This causes most albino predators to starve to death. Another problem is the lack of color pigment in their eyes, which makes them very sensitive to light, so they can struggle severely with just seeing. Even though you can search for any albino animal online, they're actually very rare. Only about 1 in every 10,000 animals are albino, and most of them live in captivity. This is because their packs mostly shut them out once they come to the realization that they don't look like them. Albino animals also don't normally get mates because other animals of their species find them weird or puny. Albino animals are struggling every day, and it's important to know what you can do so you can help. You can send donations to local zoos in your community to help these amazing and rare animals. Back to you in the studio.
I had no idea that albino animals struggled so much because they're unable to camouflage themselves.
Let's now hear about Grace with a history of cheerleading and how it started.
Thanks, Megan. Hi, my name's Grace. Today I'm going to be talking about the history of cheerleading, how this amazing sport started off. Cheerleading and the idea of cheering groups has been around since the early civilization started, gathering together for group activities. However, in 1884, the concept of organized cheerleading took place at a college football game for Princeton University. Back then, it was just a fun activity where people would cheer the football players on, standing on the sideline on the football field, which is not very fun. It's not even a sport, but let me tell you, today cheerleading is way more than standing on the sidelines. Cheerleaders were never able to show their talent back then. Cheerleading with stunts, jumps, crowd cheering techniques, and training was created back in 1949 when Lawrence Herkey decided to make cheerleading a sport. Lawrence Herkey was a cheerleader but noticed that they were just like someone in the crowd. But he made all those days change. He wanted cheerleaders to be recognized for their talent, where people would go crazy about them. Lawrence didn't want to make it easy on anyone. He wanted to make it hard to see how much that cheerleader really wanted the spot on the cheer team. Lawrence worked at a private university called SMU in Washington, D.C. It was the only college that would let Lawrence have kids all over the world try out for this amazing sport. After all that thinking, Lawrence made a cheerleading organization for all cheerleaders in 1980, known as National Cheerleading Association. Quickly after, cheerleading became a popular sport, which is known as even competitive at Olympics. However, much crazier can this sport get. Stunts, tricks. I'm excited to watch cheerleaders debate in 2020 in the Olympics. Back to you, Megan.
Wow, that was really interesting how cheerleading started as just sideline cheering for football games.
I had no idea about the history of cheerleading. Now cheerleading is a challenging and physical sport.
Let's now talk about an amazing former gymnast known as Simone Biles. Can you get to you, Skylar?
Thanks, Megan. Hi, I'm Skylar. I will be talking about Simone Biles and her career as a competitive gymnast. Simone Biles. She was born in Columbus, Ohio in 1997. She has been doing gymnastics since she was 6 years old. Simone's strongest events are vault, balance beam, and floor exercise. As a competitive athlete, she has trained 35 hours a week to get herself in top shape in 2011. Simone competed in American Classic in Houston, Texas, and won 3rd place on vault and 4th place on balance beam and 8th place on uneven bars. She won 1st place on bars in 2012 at the USA National Championships. She has won 32 medals competing in various championships over the years. Simone is most known for winning a gold medal in Rio de Janeiro Summer Olympics. Recently, Simone has decided she wants to retire her career as a competitive gymnast and focus on her mental health. It started when she was under a lot of pressure in competitions and she would compete. When she would compete, it would drain her mental health little by little until she couldn't take it anymore and decided it was time to retire. Simone is most known as the first African-American woman all-arounder in America. I hope you enjoyed learning about Simone Biles. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, I had no idea that Simone Biles has won 32 medals.
Neither did I. Now let's move to another familiar person. Here's Teddy with a story on Celtics own Larry Bird.
Thanks, and hi, I'm Teddy. Are you a Boston Celtics fan? Well, I am. And as a true fan, I enjoy watching old video clips of the famous Larry legend, a.k.a. Larry Bird. Larry was born in 1956 in West Baton, Indiana. He played basketball at Indiana State University, where he helped revive the basketball program and led his team to a 33-1 record in his senior year. The Larry legend joined the Boston Celtics in 1978, but did not play professionally until the following year, and won the Rookie of the Year award for contributing to one of the greatest turnaround seasons in the NBA history. The 6'9" forward was a big trash talker. One of his biggest rivals was Chuck Person, who played for the Pacers. Larry Bird, number 33, helped the Celtics win the NBA titles in 1981, 1984, and 1986. He was also the 12th-time All-Star player and voted the most valuable player in 1984 to 1986. Bird is also known as a player of the Dream Team, which won the gold medal in basketball in the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, Spain. You see his retired jersey number 33 hanging on the rafters in the TD Bank Garden. Larry Bird is and always will be a basketball legend. Thanks for watching. Back to you in the studio.
I've seen Bird's jersey hanging from the rafters at TD Garden. Wow, today we really learned a lot about interesting topics from bubblegum to cheerleading.
Now to end this special is Jason with the history of NFL.
Thanks, Renee. Hi, I'm Jason. Have you ever heard of the National Football League? Well, did you know that when the league was first created, that players never used to wear helmets? Can you imagine? The game of football was inspired from soccer and rugby, which was created in England in 1846. Football soon became very popular and was played at many schools during the early 1900s. Did you know when the first college game was played in 1869 between Rutgers and Princeton University College? Football became very popular as more college programs were formed. In 1920, the NFL, a professional football league, was formed, and the game of football was forever changed. Professional football teams were formed all over the United States. Sadly, many teams had barely any gear on. Today, football is one of the most famous sports in America. We tune in every week during the football season to cheer on our beloved team. We are excited when our team makes it to the playoffs and finally the Super Bowl. I can't wait to tune in and watch my favorite team, the Patriots, this coming season. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, what an interesting story. I didn't know that players didn't wear their helmets when it began.
Thank you for tuning in today.
We hope you enjoyed this special. Bye!